into the online broadcast network, Afterbuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. Afterbuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sense8 here on Afterbuzz TV. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have this song stuck in my head. Sorry, I can see my awesome producer Marissa doing one of these numbers.
She's killing it.
What's going on?
This song was already stuck in my head today after watching the episode.
I've been singing it all day since I watched the episode. But as you can see, the episode is called "What's Going On" because this song is so good, and now it'll be forever in my brain.
Same.
So maybe that's why. You know what? I think it's a really good song to start off, like someone to have their like.
Do you think it's like the gateway to like be sensate to like get into like just start hooking your brain?
I knew it.
We're hooked.
Okay, sorry guys, I didn't even get to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Alexis Torres. You can find me all over the interwebs as Torres890, and this fabulous man next to me.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Nicholas Grava. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nicholas Grava.
Woohoo!
And we are in the chat roll too.
We are. So don't forget to please tweet us. Follow us on AfterbuzzTV.com, also on YouTube.com/AfterBuzz, iTunes, SoundCloud, all of that awesome stuff. And please, we want to know your theories because we're already on episode 4, and I have so many things going on in my brain right now that it's crazy. And my notes are literally like pages long because there's so much.
I don't even, at this point, I'm writing everything down as I'm watching the show, and I'm like, no, maybe I should just sit and watch it for a little then catch up on the notes.
I also had to put captions on, like subtitles, because at one point the voices were so low that my TV would just blast because the music is so loud in this episode. I was just like, I'm done. I need subtitles. But we're going to get started, and we're going to go again how we always have done it. We're going to go by character because, again, there's so much intertwining in this series. So first we're going to start off with Kala, because even though her story wasn't a giant part of it, it was something that kind of like not irked me, but it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. She's getting ready for her wedding, and of course the wedding planners, who were quite full of tood, I must say.
I didn't know, were they wedding planners or were they somebody from like not the church, but were they
I know what you mean.
A representation of that? I don't know if they were.
I think they're wedding planners.
They seem
or
very
maybe
against them in a way.
No, I don't think they're against them. They just don't like that Kala's fiance wants to do American traditions because India is very, into the very old traditions and keeping India the way that India is. So the fact that he's like, I want rings and this and this and this.
And a short ceremony.
And a short ceremony instead of a 6-hour ceremony. I was like, 6 hours? I can't even go to church for an hour and a half.
It's a commitment.
Yeah, and I've been to a wedding that's like a little long, but that was just because it was like a double wedding and it was crazy.
What's
but like
a double wedding? Two people?
It was twins getting married at the same time.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
It was adorable, and it was very long, but it wasn't like 6 hours long, and the party was fantastic. But like 6 hours, that's like 3 classes or 2 classes.
Crazy.
No.
That's a lot. So then they asked if we could do it. Okay, well, what is it to take? To cut it in half, and you have to pay double.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, you can't afford it," and I was like, "Excuse you."
Let me back up for a minute. Let's not do this right here.
It was so rude. You're in front of both dads and the couple, and you're sitting there laughing like that's unprofessional of you.
You can tell the dads have that innate thing in them that they just want to do anything for their kids, and they wish they could, but like they probably.
Also, I don't know if you guys felt this way, but the husband, the fiance, and his whole I want, this is what I want. I want the whole world to know that this is a moment I will cherish for the rest of my life, and that I am happy with this woman, this and this and this. At first I was like, oh, he's being so sweet, and then I really thought about it. I was like, is he being controlling?
I didn't know.
What do you think?
I saw it as sweet, but then you said controlling, and it started to get me thinking about,
it rubbed me the wrong way.
Why else? I guess it's like, why? He says he wants to have this symbol, he wants to have this thing to remind her, but I do see what you're saying. Is he trying to claim? Is he trying to have that
It just seemed weird for him to really push for it, but I don't know how he sees it in his head, obviously. I just, from the way that he said it, like,
Right.
I want these rings, it was kind of like, well.
But I've always seen him as a genuine character far, which is the only reason I'm questioning that. But but then we learn something that makes me maybe wonder, okay, look what him and his father are doing. She goes to is it a temple? I don't know what to.
Yeah, she was going to that usual temple that she goes to, I'm assuming like either every day or every week or something like that to pray. And the people who saw her the first time, or probably see her all the time, noticed her, and they're like, oh, once you get married, you can't come back here. And I was like, what?
And they had signs of their faces.
Well, not her face. It was her
him and his
dad, so her father-in-law, and and they were just talking about that they're trying to take American traditions and put it into our culture. They're trying to get rid of India and for what it is and this, and I was like, ugh, that is tough.
That is so. The chat roll is saying that he is just sweet and stop overthinking it.
Okay,
I don't know though. I'm not convinced yet because honestly, I feel like because they're saying that they're trying to do all this stuff in pharmaceuticals and they're trying to get certain politicians and literally make it like America there.
Yeah.
I question the intentions.
Sorry, I just got my hair done, so I keep fiddling with it. I apologize, but yeah, that's how I feel about it too. I always felt like he's always been a sweet person, so it's very out of character for him to be kind of not stern about it, but he seemed like we're not having the wedding until I have a wedding bands, and I was like, dude, bring it back a little bit. Relax.
Let's have a conversation.
But but I do feel bad because you could just see it in her face that it was kind of like a giant reminder of people are going to know you're married. Period. This is what's happening, and you're going to be unhappy for the rest of your life.
Do you think? And I know this is kind of predictions right here, right now. Do you think they are going to get married?
No.
Okay.
I think she's going to do I think she's going to do a runaway bride.
You do.
It's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to do it, or she is going to get married, and then as soon as the wedding night happens or something, she's gonna bolt. Or like I said, I'm not saying that he's a terrible person, but maybe he'll do something that maybe we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really seen them behind closed doors. We've seen them on their little.
They've always been in public. They've always been out in other. Yeah.
I mean, they had that moment on the balcony, but I meant there's no parents, there's no aunties, there's no nothing. They're alone in their house, or
Have they even ever had that moment? No. Have we just never seen it, or they've never had it? I don't think they've ever had it.
I had no say. I don't know. But I feel bad because also I'm gonna start putting Wolfie or Wolfgang into this because their stories were very intertwined. I'm a little worried about Felix. So Wolfgang, they finally have the diamonds. They're trying to sell them off, obviously, to this really creepy professor. It looked like a professor, but I didn't know what. They didn't explain his title. He just came out of the shadows, and it was just
interesting stories and things about his mother.
It was so weird. Yeah. But I mean, he looks like he's a sarcastic, funny character. So I'm excited to see what he does. But I'm also scared he's going to screw them over, and that's why he's spending all this money and stuff. I don't know, but. Felix is getting a little
he's out of hand.
Yeah. See, in my brain I always think, okay, if I hit it rich, if I won the lotto today, would I be, doing that? And to a point I would be, but I wouldn't be doing it right after everything.
He's doing it far too obvious. He's just too aggressive. You don't know when he's
in the restaurant. Holy cow!
Yeah, are you kidding me? First, no, I agree with you. I would be the same exact way.
Yeah.
I'd spend a little bit. Okay, you want to get one pair of shoes? Fine. The guy had he was trying on 8 different pairs.
No, he was like, I want these ones, these ones, and can I have these ones as well?
And that could set off red flags to who he stole the diamonds from. Now this is them say, oh, how did you guys get all this money? People are gonna come looking, and it's. And I just think that Wolfgang is the complete opposite.
Yeah, I mean, you can even see he was like, oh, I really like my shoes and, this kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, he got very drunk and he was very happy. And I'm so sad that Cameron is not here to see his singing moment, even though it was absolutely phenomenal and terrible at the same time.
I was leaning more in terrible, but yeah.
I just assumed the alcohol. Maybe if he was concentrating, maybe it would have been more fabulous. I don't know. I just know that the way he was singing that karaoke, which was What's Going On, it was just kind of really low and kind of he was messing up his words. And
but the audience was loving it.
They were all drunk though.
They were eating it up. I don't care, drunk or sober, they were eating it up.
Word. But yeah. So of course, I am very worried about Felix is going to do something really drastic with the money and and he's going to give them away, like you said. I did love the intimate moment that Wolfie and Kala had, and I was
Wasn't that amazing?
I was like. It's happening.
Even when Kala's friend, was that her friend or her sister? I don't know who that was.
I'm going to say her roommate friend.
Okay, so her roommate was like, I've never seen you smile like that. And she's like, it was a dream. And she's like, oh, was it?
Yeah, because that would have been really weird to be like, oh yeah, I'm dreaming of this German man I've never met and I want to make out with his face.
And he was so into her too. He was off stage, like they both.
But it was so weird because they were leaning, but when you looked at their separate stuff, they were just kind of like staring off at his face. And I was
hate it sometimes. That's why I kind of get annoyed because I'm just like, be together. I don't know, connect. Something.
Well, I mean, I like that Jonas finally told us what happened, so we're going to get to that.
Yeah,
but,
that was like a breath of fresh air.
I was literally like grabbing my pillow. I was like, now kiss. Like, I wanted it so bad and it didn't happen.
It will.
Oh, yeah.
I feel it will.
I ship it. I'll say it right here and now. I ship it. I want them to be together. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I could ship that.
Yeah.
What would their name be? Kala and Wolfgang? Walla.
That's so terrible.
That's great. It's like, what's up? Is Walla?
Walla.
No.
Oh my
okay.
goodness.
If you guys have better ones, put it in the chat room.
Please, I want to read them. Oh my word. Yeah, because it can't be Kala Gang.
Oh, and you thought mine.
No, that's why I said it can't be that
Jeez,
one. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm off my game today. But anywho,
Cameron will be back. They're asking where Cameron is. Cameron will be back next week. We are missing him, and yes, he will be back.
He's
next
on a
week.
mission to get Jonas out of jail. That's his mission right now. So. But anyway, or he's probably hanging out with Guy. I can't do the.
Man.
I can't
that
do
was
the
pretty.
phrase.
You were kind of close
so
to that, actually.
Everybody's like, I ship it. Wolf. That's it. Just Wolf.
Keep it simple.
Hey, I'm fine with it. So of course we had that, and it was just adorable, and I was just like, I want more of that. But another person who I was super proud of and kind of didn't see this coming was I see a lot of people have been telling me it's Sun or it's Soon, so I apologize if I've been saying it wrong, even though it's only been 4 episodes, but I apologize.
What are you gonna go with for this?
I'm gonna say Sun because I think it's spelled S-U-N. Again, I apologize. Someone correct me in the chat.
I'll match you with Sun.
So I loved when we first see her. She's looking into the mirror and her face is all bruised up from the fight, and I love how she's like, okay, time to cover. No, I'm not gonna do. I mean, technically she did, but.
But at the moment, she stopped.
Yeah, and also I have to say, whoever does the makeup for the show, phenomenal. It looked like her face was swollen. I'm assuming there was like a prosthetic and they use a bruise wheel and things like that.
But it wasn't just like a color added on there. You could tell there was something.
Yeah, like there was inflammation underneath her skin. Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, you can do that pretty easily with cotton balls, but still.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah, you put cotton balls. You like spread them kind of thin and like kind of put them together. Put latex on top and then put color.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yay from makeup school.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I love it.
That's one thing that the show consistently does is they keep it real no matter what's happening. Like even in these extraordinary circumstances, we say it almost every week, but they keep it so grounded, which is what keeps me in.
And the other thing is editing. Cinematography and editing are the two things I will always point out in the show of how amazing it is and how flawless just the transition from them coming from one person to another. It blows my mind.
The hospital sequence in the car with Will, like all of that.
It's just so amazing, and I can't wait to see more. Again, we're only on episode 4. It's crazy. So
it feels like we're way further than that.
I know, and everybody's telling me it's going to get even crazier, and I'm not ready. I feel like my brain will actually just
but I also think in a way it's going to get it's going to get more fulfilling even more and more because now that we're understanding how they work and how they connect and how they do all that stuff, I think that's going to make it more entertaining from the viewer standpoint because now we get it and we know what's going to happen and we can like want things to happen.
Yeah. So everybody in the chat is saying it's Sun like the sun. So thanks, guys.
Okay.
I just want to double check. Yeah. So because I don't want to mess up people's names even though I do it every week. So I apologize, but also thank you. So we have her finally meeting with her father. Yeah. And it was interesting because her flashback with her mother, it looked like obviously that they're very close and she has an illness. But at the same time, it also looked like even though I know that Korea in general, people have their places, especially when it comes to gender, that it looked like he still treats his daughter as an equal kind of, but not really. It's kind of strange. Well, I don't know if you felt the same way.
Well, I felt like in the flashback, because she said, father hates me, and the mom basically said, your father's always going to love the son a little bit more. Yeah. Don't hold that against your brother. And she said, help your dad realize. But when the scene between son and her father as adults, I didn't see much. I thought there was a mutual respect there.
Yeah.
More than I expected there to be.
I think it also helps that the fact that the son is kind of a delinquent and she is the one that's like stepping up because she is the oldest. So she's like, you know, you're the one who's sitting there going to sex clubs and doing all this other stuff, and I'm here working and nobody appreciates me, but I'm doing this because...
Can we just say how badass that scene was out in front of the sex club?
I think that was my favorite. Besides Nomi getting out of the hospital with Will, that was my favorite scene of this whole episode, was just how smooth the transition was from Will and her disarming the gun, and it was so awesome.
Like crazy.
And it was so quick, too. Which I loved. It was just like, she did that, and then she opened the door, and then she's like, you're coming with me, father needs you. And it's like, ugh.
I would listen to her. She has that tone in her voice. I'd be like, what's up? Where we going?
No, like, that was the first thing. It's so funny because I was watching it with my parents again, but there was, wasn't that bad. And my dad was like, oh, look, it's your sister. And I was like, yeah, I am kind of like that. I mean, my brothers are not that bad because they're in teenage, but I'm one of those people, like, you can tell with a certain tone. I'm like, oh, Alex means business. Okay, we need to...
See, I'm the opposite. I think I could say, like, anything serious, and people would be like, nah, come on.
Really?
And I'm like, I'm trying to be... People don't take me seriously.
Well, I take you seriously.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I don't know about Cameron. Cameron probably doesn't take me seriously.
No, I doubt he does. No, whatever. I don't take him seriously. Whatever.
I mean, with that face, I'm just kidding.
His sound effects, I don't know.
Seriously, I'm just kidding, but I love him. But, so...
So what is going on with the business?
So it looks like there was embezzlement. Here, I actually...
And he's dead.
I wrote it down. Okay, I have it here. I just got to look for it. But it pretty much said that she noticed that the... Oh, here we go. Someone has been devaluing certain pharmaceutical stock in order to move funds from one account to another, a.k.a. embezzlement. I mean, she didn't say a.k.a., but yeah.
And he looked at his father and he was like, you taught me how to do this. And he was like, no, I taught you how to bend the rules, not break them.
See, in my brain... The fact that he went from like, oh, it's just my big sister, don't worry about her, like this like big shot guy, and as soon as daddy gets into the mix, he's like, I'm sorry, please save me. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because he knows his ass is on the chopping block, so he's going to do anything.
But it's so funny that like, oh, obviously if like, oh, my sister is, you know, saying something serious, I'm just going to push it off. But as soon as jail comes into the mix, he like becomes like a little girl. Again, I'm not like saying that, oh, jail is not a big thing, because obviously I'm assuming that jail in Korea is not, it's not great. But at the same time, like, it was just weird to see him be, like, this big shot and then just crumble. And I was sitting there going, like, that's the type of person you are. I really feel bad for her that she has to cover your butt.
Why? So now that was my original question, is why the heck would she even offer this? She must have she has an alter.
No.
You think she really is just being... complete. So basically, the reason she can do that is because her dad never ever acknowledges her.
I think it's because her mom told her, protect your brother. So, I mean, you can even see it in her face. She's like, I'm really disappointed in you. Like, you could see every time she sighed, every time he cried or said something, she was just like, I have to clean up your mess, and now I have to pay the ultimate price by going to jail for you now.
And that's what was in the red envelope, right? I'm assuming that's the numbers that we kept seeing.
Yeah, it had to be it.
But I'm saying the reason she can take the fall is because her dad doesn't associate really them two together, right?
No, like the main thing about being in business is that the son will always be the one that's kind of the face of the business. So it's kind of like a kingdom. You never have a queen take over. You always have a king.
Okay.
So, or a prince of some sort. So if they put son as the face, the company will not do very well, especially because there's such high gender roles in Korea.
We saw that in episode. Actually, we get why we saw that in episode 1 when the customer wouldn't even take the meeting with son.
Yeah. Can you imagine if she was trying to run the company? It'd be the worst.
No.
Yeah. So
she had to do that. So you're right. She is just that loyal to her mother.
I mean, family. That's the other thing that I noticed in this episode. Family means a lot. To everybody, that was including Kala, that was including Sun, like, and
Capheus.
And Cap. I keep calling him Cap. I like it. But yeah, and Cap and everything like that. It was mostly just the main theme of just being there for somebody at one point, and she is, again, paying the ultimate price to go to jail for her brother. And the one thing that drove me up a wall was like the text message that she got when she was not shadowboxing, but she was training. Yeah. And he's like, oh, let's talk like we used to. We love you. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. We can talk now because I'm going to go to jail for you. Get out.
Literally, like the government's coming in that was the day they said there would be the next day they were going to be coming in there.
I heard the doorbell ring.
Oh, I didn't hear the doorbell ring.
I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I was just just hearing things. But I heard a doorbell ring.
Ring a doorbell. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, I did not answer the door. I just walked out and I was just
I was like, who is he to have the audacity to send that text message right now because she's saving your ass is the only...
No, because he was probably thinking, oh... Let's see. My sister is doing something amazing for me. I should probably try to be more of a brother to her. And I'm like, no, she's going to jail.
Right.
Like, it doesn't even matter if you want to talk to her like old time. She's going to be in jail. You're going to do like,
He's not,
I love you.
Yeah.
No, you're not doing that.
Like, give him maybe a one visit and then he won't
that's
go
it.
Anymore.
Or maybe not even one. He'll be too drunk.
Somewhere, that's true. Somewhere inside of me, I don't see her really going to jail, though. I don't know why.
I can't. Like, it...
I feel like she's going to avoid it somehow. She's going to do something.
I mean, she didn't even answer him back. She was just like, nope. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if he comes to visit her, she'll probably say, like, she's there, and she'll probably be, deadpan and everything. But I just, in my brain, it's like, who are you to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna text you and be like, smooches, XOXO, I love you, kind of crap, and like you're ruining your sister's life in order to save the company.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah,
everyone really is not a fan of her brother.
No, he's a piece of duty. I can't say it all the way through, but he's a piece of crap. And no, like I if you could read my notes, guys, we would have a giant sign on the Afterbuzz iTunes because I have so many words.
Imagine people that are going to try to mess with her in prison. It's like, that
was the one thing I was talking about with my dad, and he was like, oh, at least she can take care of herself. And I was like, yeah.
Sure. I think she probably knows that too. And you know what, though? She does like to go to her underground fighting. Like, maybe this is like...
Well, the funny thing is, again, not to get into, like, too much... Not spoilers, but, like, there was a picture of her in a blue jumpsuit, so I'm assuming that was her prison outfit.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, she's definitely going to prison, and she's going to get into a prison fight, and...
She's going to kick butt.
And then that's where, again, this is more for predictions, that maybe when Cap does his mission, which is so weird, which again we'll get into, that they'll intertwine there.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of like she needs help, but at the same time he needs help again, and it'll just be a really cool fight scene again. And I'm like super excited.
Love
but I could be wrong. So
I hope you're right.
But now that we're transitioning to that, I definitely want to talk about Cap and how Van Damme is doing very well now because
he said his classic line of
I was so scared.
Again, me too. And at first I thought I was like, wait, am I watching this episode? I'm like, it's weird. I really don't remember that beginning, and I literally checked to see if this episode 4 it was. And he said, I can feel it. It's going to be a good day. And I'm like, dude, don't jinx yourself.
Like, don't do that again. That was terrible.
And then he walked out, and the bus was... I loved... Did you like the one the woman had her ring on, and she was like, yeah.
Oh, I was waiting for her to do, like, a Beyonce moment. Like, but obviously that didn't happen. So... But the one thing, that they were doing well, was anybody else kind of freaked out when he was like his friend was like hanging off the bus? I was like, you're going to get hit by something or he's going to get shot.
For what we are, because like we always think the worst and we're always worried. Is that not a pessimist?
No, it's a pessimist.
It is?
Yeah, because being optimistic is looking for the bright side on things.
He's hanging out there so happy. I'm like, dude, you're going to get hit by a pole.
I'm such a fan of Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, I just assume people just die.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, guys, if I'm like, you're such a negative Nancy. I'm like, that's just all.
Those two will put you in that mindset.
All the time. I can't help it. And then there's another... No, I'm not going to get into it. But I was like, I can list so many other shows that feel the same way. But yeah, and he was hanging out there, and I was like, oh, the guys from earlier are probably going to come by, and they're going to shoot him, and then he's dead. And I was like, I'm really glad that didn't happen. He did get hit by a palm tree.
There are like 3. And he was like, I got whipped, and I don't care. I was like, dude, I don't know. But I'm like, they're such a big target. I was scared that they were going to get hit by that same kind of gang
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I saw police, and I was like, oh, God, they're going to jail.
Yeah, and then that's exactly what I thought. I'd like, this kid can't
catch a break.
He really can't.
No, he can't.
And he has such good intentions. It was good to see his mom up and moving, though.
I felt the fact that his mom was feeling super guilty. That's how isn't that how we opened the show? I think. No, we had Wolfgang was opening the show, but I felt so bad because she's super guilty, and she's like, maybe I should just I should just not take the meds and I'll just die and you'll feel better. And he's like, no, I want to, I like that he is an optimistic person, and I really love that about it. But I'm also scared that she's going to, the depression's really going to kick in for her, and something bad's going to happen.
Well, I think this whole deal that he just cut. So when he meets with this guy,
so yeah, go ahead, please.
Mafioso. I don't know.
I was like, we having like a mobster out here? What's happening?
I didn't see that coming. Also, the guy was pretty sweaty for being in the car. Turn on the AC.
It's hot though.
You're in the car.
It's hot though.
Okay,
and he's wearing a suit.
Turn on the AC, bro. I don't know if you ever realized that, but. The deal he offers him, basically, he's like, you ruined their street cred.
Did anybody else think that he was going to get shot in the jungle? Like, no, because they had guns and they were following him. And I thought he was going to get shot. And they
was like, he's not going to come back.
And he's like, Van Damme always comes back.
Yeah.
And I was like, well.
The optimistic friend. Not us. I just don't know. He offered him the deal to take this briefcase full of the best medicine.
I was in there. I thought there was going to be money in there. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad it was medicine.
You thought there was going to be money? Yeah, either way, he'd probably... But still, like, then you end up buying fake medicine again. I don't know.
Yeah, no. It was a smart decision.
It's real medicine. Honestly, I'm going to ask you. It's a really hard choice to make because you know it's not a good choice. You know you're not supposed to, but you see the key to, like, your mother's future or health right there in front of you. It'd be hard for me to say no, even though I know it's a bad choice.
That was the one thing I definitely wanted to pick your brain about, no pun intended there, but the fact of just having to make that hard decision of this guy is definitely shady, and Cap knew right off the bat. He was like, I don't want anything to do with you. And that was the other thing I really hated about this guy, or just in any TV show in general. I apologize, I'm getting to my nitpicky phrase. If you want to skip, go for it. Is that a lot of people who are high up in some sort of food chain, mobster, whatever, politician, and when someone refuses your shady deal, they laugh and they're like, oh, you know nothing. And I'm like, no, that's the normal reaction. If it's too good to be true, it's probably bad for you.
I agree.
And I hate that they're so smug about it, and they're just like, yeah, you're making a big mistake, buddy. And I'm like, okay. Again, that was me again.
No, I agree with you, but then again, it's like, if he really did say no and he really did leave, would he even let him leave after he already presents him with this deal?
I don't think so. He would have used anything in his sneaky little power to get him to...
So it's like you take the good deal first or else you take the forced deal.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been worse. He would have, like, kidnapped his mom or something really terrible for him to do it, because Mr., the famous Van Damme of Nairobi. But, like, I'm really worried that things are going to go down terribly, but I'm hoping that he will channel... Sun back and take her fighting skills like before.
So he has to protect the bag.
That's what he said. He's supposed to. So he's supposed to take this bag to this address at midnight, and he has to protect it until then and make sure he gets there safely. So I'm assuming someone probably knows his bag is going to this address, and he's going to get in trouble. Like nobody just says, "Oh, take this thing to this place. You should be fine."
Yeah, because why wouldn't the guy just draw? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But also, he doesn't do his own dirty work. He has to hire somebody else to do it.
Yeah, like 10 cops to do it, and I'm like,
I was like, you have all these cops. You can't take a cop to go. Like, why you gotta pick this guy?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously he's expendable, and cops are cops. But like, I was like, if you are such a powerful man, you don't need a but. Then we wouldn't have a story.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Everyone says they don't see something good happen. Like, they only see negative stuff that's going to happen to Cap, and I agree with them.
Garrett said that he thinks something bad will happen to Cap's mom, and I am super scared about that. I was thinking the same thing. Not. Because, I mean, not to say that she's expendable, but she's technically bait for his story.
Yeah, because she is the emotional line to him. Yeah. She is how they can control him, technically.
Yeah.
We see that in tons of TV shows.
Exactly. So that's what I'm afraid of, is that they're gonna, because no one really has like a giant attachment besides maybe Lito, but I don't know if anybody. I mean, we know Joaquin could probably use his boyfriend at one point when he finds out, but I feel like he's the only person in this whole storyline besides maybe Nomi that would have a powerful person taking someone they love and using it to his advantage, and it's scary to think of, especially someone who's sick.
I think they're all going to become that person for each other once they first get into it. I can't wait for that moment. I couldn't help but see the picture to the next episode. They did show them in a room. I don't know. Are those accurate per episode?
I have no idea.
Pictures?
I have no idea. All I know is I always stop it at the credits now, so I don't see the next picture. I saw the first one for this episode, and it was the jumpsuit one, and I was like, oh, she wasn't in a jumpsuit. So that's
weird. So maybe it's just spread out. So great. I might not see them together.
What's going on? Sorry. But anyway, so now that we're getting into, speaking of, we got Will and Jonas and Riley, and this is where, like,
this is the most fulfilling for me.
No, literally from when Will and Jonas had their meeting and on was just bananas.
Yeah.
From there, and just the connection, sharing and visiting is how that works. I think I wrote down how it works, but it was kind of confusing for me.
So okay, this is what was confusing to me. So he goes to the jail to see Jonas.
Yeah, because he wants to talk to him.
He wants to talk to him, and then when Jonas first pops up,
I was like, ha,
yeah,
what?
Terrifying. But when they were like. And they slowly deceivers
like a romantic movie.
I was like, finally, Will is willing. Don't mean that.
Wow.
To go for it, and he's
Super
not
funny.
afraid of it. Do you know what I mean? I was so happy to see that. So basically, didn't he say something about you need to make eye contact?
Yeah, here he explains that all the connecting we are seeing. This is my notes. Mm-hmm. Angel called it visiting. It happens when two people are in the same cluster. People in different clusters can only do it if they make eye contact with each other. And then there is visiting and sharing are different. I didn't get all of that because there was a lot more with the whole sharing deal. But I know that Will was trying, especially in the car, to help Nomi because I was super afraid that I'm like, oh, Nomi's gonna just think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Oh, also, I wanted to get your guys' opinion about this. Was the doctor was being more of an ass than usual? The Nomi's doctor, yeah.
No, I always thought this guy was an ass.
No. I mean, I knew that, but I felt like because she was like, oh, I don't know where you got, like that line because he got butt hurt. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna move your surgery date. I was like,
aggressive actually, and it just it drives the stake home that he's no good intentions.
That's why I'm trying. I mean, I'm definitely. My parents are now on board with our theory with the government being a part of that, and that some doctors and some things like that's why I thought when Cap was getting captured again. No pun intended.
Did you think it was all sort of wrapped into that?
But even when Jonas was getting taken out of his cell, they were in hazmat suits.
Okay, I thought the same thing, which clearly means like they don't know how it works, but they think they can
something
catch it. Is up. Yeah, they think this is literally
it's like a disease.
This is not Ebola, people. Let's get it straight.
What is happening?
Sense8, no.
That's not how that works. It's not like a touch. You have it now.
So the difference that I got between visiting, you do not have to be in the cluster.
Yeah.
Sharing you can only be done between the people in the group is what he said. Because he said like we can both visit, like Jonas can pop in and out, but like he can't share.
Yeah, like he can't. I'm assuming that the visiting thing is mostly like they can be within the same room and kind of interact to a point. Yeah. Like what Riley and Will were doing.
Yep.
But sharing is what technically Will did to save Nomi.
On the table.
That was so. I had goosebumps all up and down when he like woke up and like it was panning away from him and you can see the IV in his arm and I was like, did it happen? Is she unconscious?
Because I'm like, okay, you're bringing someone in for surgery. You're not just gonna like be like, okay, let's pause and wait a few minutes. So I thought it was done too.
Yeah, I was freaking out, but it looked like because there is a time difference, because she's in San Francisco and he's in Chicago. Chicago's 3 hours ahead, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, So he was sleeping, so it was probably like morning, and then this is nighttime already for her.
Yeah.
That they were prepping in the other room, and they already put her under anesthesia.
Yeah,
is that correct? I'm sorry.
Some sort of anesthesia.
I don't know, but yeah. So and I think that it's actually better for maybe one of them to be unconscious so that he can fully take over her body.
Without
I couldn't
her
really
resisting it.
Yeah, it was very strange
because when she came to, she was stumbling as if she really was.
Well, also she was on whatever. Not morphine, but you know what I mean.
Some kind of
something to help her to sedate herself. So it was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of chuckled when she ran into the door. I was like, oh.
When I didn't think she was gonna make it that far.
I would have been really upset if she didn't make it that far. But my dad's like, obviously she's gonna get out. But I didn't think that her girlfriend was going to dress up as a nurse.
How amazing was it? First I thought, I was like, oh, it's a nurse that's on her side. Clearly this nurse has a heart. And then it clicked to me, oh, this is her girlfriend. Thank the Lord, let's get her out of here. I thought the lady
who was behind the desk was gonna be like, I don't see nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look over here.
It seemed like she was kind of not into really
she didn't care. And then she was like, but it didn't look like she was trying to get her. Oh, no, she did, didn't she? Because she called security.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I thought she was kind of like, this girl's she's lost. Go put her back in her bed or something like that. But no, it was kind of like, I got her.
The breakout scene, though, one thing that I was questioning. Okay, so I thought it was great, but he's laying there. You're handcuffed. I've never been laying there handcuffed to the hospital bed, and he pulls out the IV. But then his hand can sort of reach over here. Like, I'm assuming both handcuffs are pretty close to the thing. I've never seen someone handcuffed to a bed that can also reach their other hand to start, like, toying with something. Or did he go at it with his mouth to one wrist?
No. I believe the only reason I'm saying that is what my dad was saying, that his wingspan is longer than hers. So, I mean, even though it's technically her doing it, because he can reach a little farther.
That's the other question. Is it his? It's not his body, right? It's her body is still laying there. Mm-hmm.
It's just
takes over.
Yeah, he's just helping her. So maybe she actually couldn't reach as that far. I don't know. It was very strange.
Yeah.
I love it because my dad was like, "What? He used a needle to get." I was like, "Dad, don't you remember he used the paperclip when he was a kid?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, he's been doing that for a while."
That's why they have been leaving us with all these little like sprinkles of things. Because if he just did that, I would have called BS. I would have been like, "Dude, no one's doing that." But you set it up in the story a few episodes ago. I'm all in.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's canon. We got it."
Yeah,
continuity. But yeah, so I just leave it up to that. That's TV magic. We can't really be nitpicky about that.
He's definitely the one that is the leader of the pack.
I mean, why else would Jonas go to him first?
Go to him, that's true.
So, I do feel bad that we don't get to see Riley as much as the episodes go on, but I'm assuming we're probably going to have a big Riley episode, because she was technically our first one that had to go through a lot in the first 2 episodes.
We saw a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we also saw a lot of her roommates too this episode.
Wow. Okay, I was really confused.
I was very confused.
Actually seeing
I thought it was Wolfgang having sex with someone.
That's what I thought.
So I was like, he's the only one getting action at it.
He got action in almost every episode, so I'm like, oh, homie's doing it again.
I was like, damn, man, I don't know what he's doing, but he is just getting it. Drunk girl after drunk girl. I thought it was the same girl that we saw from the last time.
But it was actually the friends that we had met last week.
I thought it was called his roommates, and I was like, is the roommate having... Ooh. I don't think that's actually allowed in India. I could be wrong, though.
She was like, get me... She could see it, right? Or she could just hear it?
I think she could see it. Okay, I think that's why. I think she thought she was dreaming. Because that was also what was confusing for me. Because she was on the roof. Mm-hmm. Kala was on the roof, but then she was also singing in her bedroom.
Interesting.
See? So I was like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, There's too much connecting going on. Or visiting. So, but yeah. So poor. Okay, we can talk about Riley for a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, Riley's just hanging out in her room, just kind of just doing her thing, and then her roommates are just bumping uglies in the corner there. And poor Kala's just like, what's happening?
I felt bad for Kala. Kala was clearly very out of her element, and that is
I thought she was just going to start laughing. That's what I was hoping.
She was going to just want to crawl inside herself to not have to deal with this.
As soon as she completely covered her face with her hand, I was like, she doesn't know what to do.
So is that the reason we were introduced to the Riley's friends? Was just
just to see them bone.
Is there going to be a plot line with them?
They're supporting. I don't know. It was just so silly. I was just like, cool. Now we know. I mean, apparently their sex life isn't that great because apparently he goes really early. But whatever.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that one.
My dad was just like, that's sad, son. I was like, Dad.
Okay.
Too far. See, that's why I'm okay with watching this or do with my parents, because my dad would just be like, that's true. Just terrible.
Is it next episode?
No, 6. So we have 2 more.
Okay, it's 6. It's 6.
But yeah, it was just really funny. My dad was just like, that's a damn shame. I was like, chill out. Anyway, it's not about them. It's about
commentary, Dad.
It's the Sense8 people. Yeah. Jeez. So, but yeah, so Riley, she got to go on the roof, and I loved. It was crazy trying to put our ending sing along music moment, which is where I don't know who started it. I'm assuming it's Wolfie, but.
Started the singing?
The song.
Didn't she play it on her iPod?
I have no idea. Guys,
I think Riley played it on her iPod.
Yeah, and then because it was weird because the bar can hear the song too, so that's why it wouldn't make sense to me.
That's a thing that
maybe they were all thinking of the song
and this isn't sharing, but is it when they start? Because sometimes they do overlap with thoughts.
Yeah, just like with the rain.
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
That kind of
so
stuff.
Maybe I guess that's sharing. Something.
That's the one thing I was confused. I loved this whole sequence. I just was confused of who started it because he was in the bar. I mean, he was in the club, and the lyrics were up there. Everybody was singing along. So I don't know if he picked it when he heard it. Did Felix
pick the song for him?
I think Felix picked the song.
He ran up there, right?
No, I don't know. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, he dragged him up. I think he did.
Okay, so apparently everybody's saying that she played it. So maybe he heard it and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick this song."
Okay, that could be it.
So thanks. Who was that actually? Oh, Sheila.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I said that correctly.
Riley started playing, Wolf started singing, and then...
It just kind of went from there. Again, still my favorite. His was like... Yeah, what's going on? But it was such an adorable moment for all 8 of them to just experience. Cap was having a good time because he's like, I just got medicine for my mom. She's gonna live. It's gonna be great. Even though in the back of my head I'm like, don't be so positive. And then we saw a lot of sun as well as she was like, I mean, we saw her moon, but like, she was sitting there showering, having a good time. I'm going to jail, so I'm gonna sing this song because it's so good.
Live it up, son. I want to get inside her head. I want to understand this is a smart, powerful, strong lady, and I gotta know what her deal is.
See, if she was in America, people would be so intimidated by her. But here, it's just like, she's just nothing.
Isn't that insane?
It's more brain stuff.
What about when Will spoke Korean?
That was nuts. I was like, what? He could speak Korean? I'm so confused. But it made sense when Jonas was like, yeah, you guys, you could speak Korean because of this and this and this and this. But, when Nomi, the most saddest part was when Nomi was singing it to Riley, they were having that duet for like a split second, and she was just like, she was singing it, and then she's like, what's going on? What's going?
Is that where it ended? Oh no, she was sitting with Riley.
No, which was the
last take?
The last take was her saying what's going on, like she was speaking it and being confused in the cab.
Okay.
But I loved her girlfriend's line where she was like, "Of course they would play. That's a perfect lobotomy."
Yeah,
song.
I wrote that. I go, perfect song for lobotomy.
I was like, excuse you.
I thought of it as
no.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, that was crazy talk.
I'm trying to see if I have anything in my notes that I missed.
Literally everything was like Nomi and Will connecting was so cool, and Kala and Wolves was so adorable. I literally like squeed.
But
it was great.
She's gotta Nomi needs to, I was worried about this. They called in the plates to the cab, so it's only a matter of time until they're gonna I wanted them to get out of the cab, run away or something.
No, and they're just gonna find out where the cab stopped and see what happens
track it from there.
I don't know what's gonna happen for those two. I'm just worried.
Yeah, me too.
About everything.
I would agree.
But I am glad to see Nomi out. That's the one thing I was like, I thought for sure I was like, they're gonna get cut, and I'm like, oh man, they made it. Yay!
Do you see how fast the progress of her brain, he showed pictures and it was a matter of 24 or 48 hours, the different pictures.
Yeah, because
her brain had
not that much time has passed.
Right, and it's already conjoined in the front. Is that a word? Conjoined?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, what is accelerating, and how much further is it gonna...
I mean, if you notice the progression of them connecting a lot more, the one thing that really freaked me out was when Cap was walking in the mud and Wolfgang saw it. I was like, whoa, what's wrong with your foot? It was weird.
I did too. I couldn't see, my darkness was on it. I couldn't understand what it was on his foot. I thought it was a sea urchin at first for some weird reason.
What the heck is that?
Yeah, but then I realized that he was just having a connection moment.
Oh man! Oh, that's the person we forgot was Lito, because it was so split.
And I had something to say about that.
Yes, please go ahead.
So Lito's girl and Lito's boy are having more of a connection than Lito. When he came over to have him try his ceviche, and he was like, I was like, good. And then the girl tried.
I was so mad because I was sitting there going that is not how you eat that. You take the lettuce, you have everything inside, and you eat it like a taco. You idiot.
In the beginning of the scene, they pan in, and his boyfriend was taking so much effort on just plating it, and Gordon Ramsay would be so proud. And then next thing you know, he just brings it up.
He picked at it. I was like, get out. I was like, hello. And I love how she literally stopped talking and was just like,
he thought she was talking. God. She goes, oh my God. He's like, I know. Can you believe it?
And I was like, no, you dummy. He's talking about the food. Yeah. And I love how he was just like, thank you. And they walked off and talked about it. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, she said, you should open your own restaurant. They're having a connection there.
And I also loved that all 3 of them were in bed together. I was like, this is too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was in her underwear. Mind you, she has a beautiful butt. That's all I'm gonna say.
They were
Yeah. He was sitting up and he had his arm on the thing, and then
it was him, her, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like,
what's going on? Are they sleeping together?
What's going? I don't know. I'm gonna say they are, because remember she gets off.
Yeah, I did remember that. Wow. So, is she in the orgy? Prediction?
I don't know. Well, let's jump into that now, since we're gonna be running out of time here.
Lito tried to save his butt. He goes, it's very tasty. After she said that, he tried to like jump in.
Yeah, I know. That's what I feel like. Lito's gonna be our comedic relief. And it's not a bad thing. I like that because I feel like ever since she found out, it's been kind of like super cheesy, but I'm okay with it because it's such a serious show. So it's kind of cute to see him do like kind of like not like comedic segments, but just like throw in kind of like sitcom-y kind of like I thought it was tasty. Like it's such a Ross thing to say. You know what I mean? Or Chandler thing. Like I can't. Anything
to Friends. You just went so high on my list of Friends.
I can quote Friends.
I can quote Friends.
Literally from season 1 to
I'm so
10.
happy.
Sorry guys, we just had like a little moment. But yeah, no, I actually have all the DVDs.
Me too. Yes.
We're connecting. Look at that. Oh my gosh, poor Cameron. But yeah, I like it. It's a good break from everything.
So I do have one thing to ask you because I do feel this way. So the way we are watching it is different than everyone else. We are going week by week. I feel like I would be getting more out of it. I don't want to say enjoying it more, but in the essence of if I was binge watching.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as soon as I the episode ends and it's so great and I want to click play, and then by next week it takes me like 5 to 10 minutes to like re-get into like what's happening, who's who. So I wanted to ask them at home if everyone has already binge watched or if you are watching week to week and if you guys like it either way.
Yeah, I wanted to get again pick your brain about that as well because I actually like it week to week because it slows everything down because I feel like if we binge watched it and then did the after show, it would be terrible because I'd be like, what was that episode? What did they do there?
No, the only way to do this is definitely to watch it once.
Episode by episode. Yeah. But I also don't like it when people tell me that they binge watch it and then then people will come back to me as I'm watching it one by one. They're like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I also forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget, this is coming up. You're going to love it. I'm like, don't do that. We
have more time to definitely let things settle in.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Lito and Daniela kind of do their own thing, where he kind of is just like, I just want to eat this really quick and get back to what I was doing, and then she's kind of like savoring it and enjoying it.
Look at you with your metaphor.
I'm pretty good at it. But my prediction is that, again, I apologize that I'm going to be that negative Nancy, and there's a lot more danger that will ensue, but I'm also really excited to see that they actually connected on their usual, sharing level, but at the same time, I want to see them really, is it weird that I really want them to like kind of hum the song when they meet together? I know it's not going to happen, but that'd be really, really weird.
I will take that as long as they just get together. I need all of them in one room so bad.
He is ready.
I am so ready for them just to be like, let's kick ass with this. They're so cool. They can do so much. I just want them to like turn into heroes. No, I just want them to all meet. I need them to all meet and be on the same page and not feel like Nomi and be like, oh my god, am I crazy? Am I not? Like, no.
Well, I feel like her situation is totally different because this doctor is putting things into her brain, and I hate. Her mom showed her ugly face in this episode today, and I was like,
Michael.
I wanted to be like,
me too.
Shut up. But yeah, I like what the show. I hate and love the show right now because I hate what it does to me, but at the same time, I want to see what happens. But
I can't wait to see what happens.
We also want to know, again, we really appreciate you guys really keeping the spoilers down for us, and we miss Cameron, so we can't wait to have him. He will be here next week, but Nicholas will be here next week.
We are swapping in and out, and then we're all back the next week. We're going to make that promise here.
But anyway, thanks guys so much for hanging out with us. I hope that we covered everything. Please, if you haven't, please go on iTunes, rate us, and subscribe, like, thumbs up, share the love. We really love this show. We want to keep, again, I keep using this phrase, picking your brain about this show. Hey, I love it so much, and I wish I could binge watch it, but I'm not going to.
Me too.
Nicholas, tell us where these awesome people can find you.
You guys can find me at Nicholas Grava on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, any of it.
You can also follow Cameron Lewis at The Only Cam Shaft, and you can follow me all over social media as Torres, ATORRES 890. Also, if you love this face, please see us please see me and everybody else from BlackHollywoodLive.com, who is our sister network. I'm there for Geek Nerd Tech, and they have a bunch of awesome shows that you guys should definitely check out. Anyways, we love you. We hope to see you soon. Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of Afterbuzz TV or its owners or principals.